All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Today is the first day of October, and overall, I wanted to take a trade yesterday actually, and wasn't able to do that. I just didn't find anything really good, and I had to do other things later on in the morning, so I wasn't able to take a chance at doing any other trades for the rest of the day. So if you know anything about what's been going on the last few days when it comes to the stock market and knowing some of these things, and as I've been learning these things over the last few months as a beginner, learning all these different things, and one thing you will know about what's going on in the market right now when you look at the scans, if you follow the app or the stock scanner that I use, you will see that penny stocks have been dominating the stock market. Here, let's go ahead and we'll pull that one up real quick right here. So when we look at the scans, basically you can tell right off the bat that, the typical stocks that I would trade are not in the top of the market right now. You can see UAVS 20 cents. I mean, penny stock. Yeah, it's up 113%, but for pre-market trading, 87 million in volume and 60 million flow. It does meet other requirements, but it's so cheap. I mean, I could have bought 5,000 shares of this stock and traded it, and maybe I could, but I think this stock was actually a buyout actually. So, but MGRX again 41 cents. I did trade this one. I'll talk about that one here in a little bit. SITC. And then X, that one was a little bit too much. It was more than I wanted to, trade, because when I start trading in this range, spreads are higher and I can only take about 50 shares, if you're starting with $1,000 account. And then on top of that, you look low volume, high float, just don't work. And then we look at XJHG, again, penny stock. And then we get down to SGMT. This one did start to come up, but still was a little bit thinly traded. So overall, the market itself was just pretty slow today. It just felt really slow today. And like everything just was not really pacing along very well. Like some days it's just like things are just right from the minute it hits 7 o'clock, everything's moving and everything's going. It's just like everybody's buying, everybody's selling, so there's something going on. But today it was just like penny stocks and Chinese penny stocks to boot. And I'm not even really thrilled about trading something like that. And I almost thought about not taking a trade again today. I didn't take a trade yesterday because of this same issue. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to take my hand and try it, but I bought 1,000 shares today because I knew the range was just so small on these that if I didn't take a somewhat decent size, I wasn't really going to make anything with it. So, and that's the kind of the problem with penny stocks right there. So let's go back here. So let's look at the trade in question I did today, and that was on MGRX. I looked at a few other stocks, I think today, SLNX. I looked at MKDW, NCI, SGMT. I'll get to those stocks here in a little bit. I'll just talk about those. But again, these stocks were just, again, not really pushing very high. So this stock was, below 50 cents, which I didn't even care for. But it was starting to make this move right here. And that's where I started to get interested. And then it came up, did this little candle, and then did this little bit of a pullback, and then started to push higher, and I bought in. And of all things, it even got filled late, I think at 38 cents. So right at the top of this candle, and then it went up another penny. And that's one of the problems with these penny stocks. I mean, you would think that this is like a 20-cent move. This is only like 5 cents, I think. 31. So this is maybe 9 cents from here to here. This is not a huge move right here, actually. And so the only way to really profit on these is you got to buy a huge share amount just to make decent profit on these. But the problem can be is these stocks can be absolutely very volatile. I mean, if you look at this, like this candle right here, it really dipped down. I mean, this was a good candle, don't get me wrong, but before it made the move it did, it was looking like really bad. So just, didn't look very good. And so it's just extremely volatile, and it's just, you got to take huge share size, and you don't really make a lot on these. And, luckily it was a NASDAQ stock, if it's not NASDAQ, if it's more like an OTC stock, it's going to cost more money for me to trade it. So I don't want to really deal with those types of stocks. So wasn't a big gainer. So I took the trade, went in at 38 cents, came out at 39 cents, made $10.50. Not a big day. 1 penny per share. That's all I earned on it. Absolutely 1 penny. That was it. And so that wasn't very good. I wasn't very pleased with that. And even if I got in down in here, you know, it would have been a 3 or 4 cent gain. So maybe made $40, which is great that I made $40, but still that's only 4 cents a share. You know, it's not like you're buying 100 shares and going up 40 cents. You know, that's a big deal right there. When you can go 40 cents, you know, and for me, I'm looking to go somewhere right in the range of about 10 to 20 cents for an average trade. And, you know, so, but I took the trade, I'm green, and it's a good start to the month. So I'm pretty happy about that. So that was the trade I took today. So, and overall, this stock, it did push up to 51 cents over the front side of this particular move here. And then it began to drop off like a lot of Chinese stocks do. They just tend to drop off, and it really didn't go much else anywhere for the rest of the day. So it wouldn't have been really worthwhile to trade it. You know, for my trading strategy, I want to trade this part of the move right here. This is the front side of the move. It made this initial spike up right here, and then it started to really climb, traded side, once pulled back and came back up. And then it started to sell off, and then start have things like some of these flushes and stuff. And I definitely don't want to trade the backside. I want to just trade the best and leave the rest. So that's how it is. So, all right. So let's go ahead and look at a few of the other stocks I was looking at for the day. I did look at this stock right here, SMGX or SGMT. It did have some news. What was it? Pre-market FDA breakthrough. It did push up. I think at 7 though. Where was it at 7? Yeah, at 7 o'clock. It was doing this ugly move, and then by 8 o'clock, I mean, I was already at work at this point, so I couldn't even trade this part of it, which would have been the better part of it to trade actually. So I kind of missed that altogether, and at the open, and this thing just sold off, so I didn't have an opportunity to take on that particular one. NCI. Just real thinly traded and not very good. NKDW, it was a little bit, but it was just, if you kind of look how this whole chart looks, it just looks very thinly traded. Just not very, no one was really trading it. SLXN, this particular stock, let's go back, I think in pre-market, it made this really nice move initially. And I believe I wanted to take a trade on it right at 7, but it did this pullback, and I was like, oh, just hold off. And then by the time I realized, you know, it was making this move back up again. But, you know, in most cases, I wouldn't have taken the trade until I got to about right here. Well, at that point, I was already getting kind of extended. So I was off, you know, what, 4 or 5 cents off this, you know, probably about 5 cents off of this. Would I have made 10 cents on that? Probably not, you know. So, you know, keeping a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio right here, I was probably about 5 cents off, and I would have had to do 10 cents. It could have done that. You know, it wouldn't have been a terrible trade by any means. But it, again, look at it. It's a penny stock. I would have had to take 1,000 shares of this, and it would have been maybe $50. And that was my big thing. I was like hesitant about jumping in on these particular penny stocks because they can be quite volatile. And that's what we've been seeing. And that's kind of been the theme this week overall, is that, you know, penny stocks have been just really ruling the market, at least the small cap market overall. So I haven't really been really fond of this last few days. And the other thing is, you know, when I look at these stocks, I'm like, yeah, I want to jump in, but man, there's like these huge sellers in the level 2. And if you don't know anything about the level 2, this basically allows you to see the depth of the market and where people are sitting. And you can see, like, you know, I'll go up 5 cents, but there's a 50,000 share seller right at that point. So that thing could tank and it could flush right there, and you could lose quite a bit. So I don't want to really do that and risk that. And so it's kind of hard getting in and out of these particular stocks because it is so thickly traded. And then it's really hard to just, you know, get in and get out, and then all that. The good side is, though, the spreads are small, but if this thing would flush, I mean, it could flush, and it did right here. You know, here's 4 or 5 cents right here again, you know. So I think this was maybe 9 cents. So this is probably a good 9 or 10 cent flush right here. So, I mean, you could lose a lot real quick if you're not paying attention. Everyone kind of thinks that, oh, penny stocks are easy to trade. And not necessarily. There's some big issues with them, pump and dump schemes, things like that. So you want to be really cautious with those types of stocks and really know your risk. And that's one thing I'm really reining back on is tightening up the reins, getting my risk in check, and not making bad and poor choices when I choose to make a trade. So again, I'm only making one trade per day, and that is it. So overall, I took my one trade today, and it turned out to be a decent trade. So let's go ahead and jump into how everything looked out for the day. Again, 38 cents was my entry. Got out at 39, made $10.50. Not bad. Not really tracking any of my ratios yet, so that's my month so far. Hopefully I can bring in some more of these good trades to go for. It's been a green day, so it's a good way to start off the month. Again, if you'd like to follow along with me, you can definitely do that. Subscribe, follow along. I'm putting new videos out regularly, trying to put them out daily if I can. Just when it makes sense, and if there's something there to talk about. If there's nothing to talk about, I'm not going to put the video out. But I am sharing my journey as a trader, learning how to trade. Been doing this since March of 2024. So if you'd like to follow along and watch me learn how to trade, go ahead, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.